DeSanto Propane is 4 generations strong as a trustworthy, family-owned business with unmatched customer service. Go online at DeSantoPropane.com for more info or call toll-free at 1-800-752-4574 today. Since 1937, the difference has been DeSanto Propane.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into Bills Weekly here on FingerLakes1.com. Paul Russo here with Jim Senecropi and Kyle Evans. Disappointment, to put it bluntly, coming off the game yesterday. A 30-13 defeat to the Miami Dolphins in Miami yesterday for the Buffalo Bills. So plenty to get to there. Looking ahead to next week, and there's a couple things I want to touch on here with the team that hopefully we can get to. So all that and more. But first, I think a couple more of our sponsors here before we get going any further, including Auburn Auto Group. When it comes to selection and service after the sale, Auburn Auto Group has been the premier destination for new and used car buyers for close to 40 years. Among the brands offered on Route 5 in Auburn include Chevrolet, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Honda, Toyota, and Subaru. Thanks to their wide range of makes and models, you're sure to find your new or used car at Auburn Auto Group. And Cafe 19, breakfast, lunch, pastry, celebratory cakes, pies, and catering. Guaranteed fresh and always local at Cafe 19 in Seneca Falls. Also offering an assortment of beverages, including tea, coffee, and espresso drinks. You can check out their full menus and weekly specials at xixcafe.com. And I know for them coming up, pie season is upon us, so get those in.
Pies for Thanksgiving.
Yep, get those orders in, right? So look forward to that. All right. I just, like I said, I think the perfect way to kind of encapsulate this game for the Bills up front is disappointing. You come off of a pretty much must-win, must-feel-like win against Kansas City. You're able to get that done. Kind of reclaim some of those vibes you might have been starting to lose over the past couple weeks. And then going into that game yesterday, you go in against a Dolphins team that I know, Kyle, I said to you off air, more or less DOA at this point, right? Just their season's essentially done. They're sleepwalking. They sell at the trade deadline. And they just go out there and kind of run Banshee on the Bills. And if you're the Bills and you're a fan of the Bills at this point today, kind of hard not to be upset, kind of hard not to feel that disappointment, kind of hard now to question what the season might really look like, even at 6-3. Like, that's the crazy part. Even at 6-3, it's hard at this point not to question what this, door of the year looks like.
Yeah, and I think you're more mad the way that they came out yesterday. They get that Cole Bishop interception. You think, all right, well, it's going to be one of those days. They're just going to cruise. And then you see the offense show up on the field, and man, I mean, the Dolphins, one of the worst defenses in the league, and you would not know that if you didn't check numbers before the game. They looked elite. I mean, receivers not getting open again. They clearly were just trying to stop James Cook. That was the game plan. Just stack the box. Don't let him run up the middle. And, basically one-on-one the receivers because they knew that the receivers can't get the separation. And I read you the stat off air. Josh Allen had an average of 3.83 seconds to throw the ball yesterday, the longest ever of his career. So imagine you're just standing there for more than 3.5 seconds, and your receivers are still not getting open.
Against Miami's secondary.
And how about the time where he was running back and forth? It was like a 3rd and 16. He finally found Curtis Samuel down the middle. He literally ran circles back and forth trying to buy more time after already having a lot of time to throw because Miami has no pass rush. Imagine if they were facing a better team with pass rush. That score yesterday would have been maybe like 47-13. So, yeah, it was ugly. I don't think you can feel any good about that game and the way they came out. They just seemed like they were kind of like it was going to be easy. No urgency, kind of like just relaxed. I mean, you're fighting for a division title. And then Deion Dawkins and Josh Allen say after the game that, well, they just wanted it more than us. How is that possible?
I don't doubt Miami wanted it more.
Yeah.
I mean, what did they want it for? Now you're 2.5 games behind New England.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all
After a 4-0 start.
luckily they play each other again, but New England's won 7 in a row, and it wasn't like the Dolphins won 30-28. It was 30-13.
Right.
I mean, it was one of the biggest blowouts it was the biggest blowout of the morning window, 1:00 window. It really is hard to believe. To me, it looked like you said they came out flat, which I guess that happens once in a while. But by the time they decided they were going to try to win the game, it started raining, and then they couldn't hold on to the ball. But the most glaring issue continues to be the lack of production from the wide receivers, and it was really shocking yesterday. And some people say, "Wow, Keon Coleman had that one touchdown, big deal."
Yep.
He got targeted 7 or 8 times, and I think he had that catch and 1 or 2 others for like 10 yards, less than 10 yards.
Yeah.
And lots of times, it still seems like when Allen throws the ball to Coleman, it's like Coleman's like either not expecting it or doesn't know how to catch it. Like they're not on the same page. Coleman's a huge disappointment. All the rest of them, Josh Palmer's out. I mean, the trade deadline's passed. This is it. Not a Super Bowl contender team. Let me ask you guys something. Would you have rather lost to Kansas City 28-21, let's say, and then handle Miami this week? Which would you feel better at? They both, neither one's ideal, but
Yeah.
I just wish we could flip the games totally where they just got beat by Miami that bad, and then that trade deadline comes 2 days later, and there's more urgency to get a deal done, and there's no way you get out of that deadline. Well, at least we tried, as Brandon Bean said. There's no trying in the professional league. You get it done.
Yeah, and that's where I wanted to kind of go in a few minutes here, was the fact that this report comes out that they were big fish hunting, big whale hunting at the deadline,
Waddle.
and nothing. They come away with nothing.
Yeah.
Especially you look around, and I know, Kyle, I said to you, but like you look at Jacoby Myers, Shaheed, and guys like that, and look, do they solve the Bills' issues in my mind?
Myers would have been a good fit.
Right. But like, do they solve like maybe that bigger issue? Probably not technically, right? But it gives you the option, right, of extending whatever this year is going to be and stuff like that. And the fact of the matter is, Jacoby Myers made an impact yesterday. Shaheed made an impact yesterday for their new teams, and we're here questioning again what this offense, frankly, is for the Bills.
Well, you know what it is. They still truly believe Gabe Davis will be the fix.
And
I'm telling you, that was their plans. And they're like, oh, Josh Palmer's still not back. So we get Palmer and Gabe Davis back, we have a totally different offense.
Palmer
That's probably what
didn't
they're
do anything
thinking.
before.
Yeah,
Got hurt.
I know.
Disappointingly, I thought he would have a big year.
yeah, Gabe Davis has remained in the practice squad.
Yeah, because he's not
Yeah.
good enough to play
Yeah.
anyways, because that's why they got rid of him.
He had knee soreness last week from ramping up. That's why he didn't play this week.
Yeah. So, I just, it's one of those things, and Kyle, I'll leave more of it again for you here on the bone. But again, the play calling yesterday was just on some of these, just what are we doing? Like I said, I'll leave it for you for the couple of them. But same things we talked about a month ago, we're talking about here again, and it's one of those things where we're beating the dead horse. But at this point with the Bills, it's kind of what their MO just appears to be this year.
Yeah, so obviously, like I said earlier, their game plan was to stack the box with 5 defensive linemen, not let Cook do anything, and basically dare the Bills to throw the ball because they, like I said, they knew the separation issues. And of course, Josh Allen had all the time, too, based on the stats. But the problem is, Joe Brady wasn't catching on to that. He was still throwing the little screens, running the end arounds with Elijah Moore. How many times was it 1st and 10 or maybe like 2nd and 6, and they're running with James Cook up the middle, right into their strength? The Dolphins were begging them to basically just throw the ball, and they would not do that. There was no change in game plan. And then you might say, well, they finally kicked it up in the fourth quarter. I mean, yeah, because the Dolphins then just played prevent defense. And look at who some of the players were on that back end of that defense. I mean, Rasul Douglas didn't play for them. They had 4th-string corners, 4th-string safeties. I mean, of course you're eventually going to find the end zone. The Keon Coleman throw, I mean, the guy kind of like backed off and kind of allowed him to catch it.
But we were just talking about the offense. The defense was pathetic.
Well,
Achane was running up and down the field like crazy. Tua looked like he was back in his prime.
hell, I guess I'll go first here.
Injuries, but
I'm aware. Well, but here's the thing. Me and Kyle, I know we're in lockstep on this at this point. I don't know what more the defense can really do at this point. They gave up 16 points in the first half. They pitch a shutout in the third quarter.
I don't think the defense is a problem. I agree
Right.
with you, but yesterday was one of the worst defensive performances of the year.
Right, sure, but like you're on the field 75% of the time. Like I don't know what more you can do with a depleted unit.
Giving up 30 points to the Dolphins. Yuck.
I know. I don't disagree with that side. My focus here, I can't pin what is happening on the defense.
Normally, I agree with you in the fact that, okay, Miami put up 30, the Bills should have put up 31. Like we're supposed to be a high-powered offense.
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed to outscore teams. They scored 13 points against the Dolphins.
Season low.
Yeah, pathetic. Yeah, 1 point less than they scored at Atlanta. It's crazy. It was shocking, and I think that most of the Bills Mafia was planning on just settling and watching a good old-fashioned route on Sunday, and they got it. It's not the way that they thought it would be, or anybody in the world would have assumed it could be.
Yeah, I mean, the sports books had their day yesterday.
Just
They
so-
loved that result. I mean, I saw everyone minus 8.5 Bills.
Yeah.
Like, everyone felt good about it. I mean, all the national media. And I think even the broadcasters, like, I mean, you heard Charles Davis, he couldn't believe what was happening. And he was breaking this down. I remember just a random play in the third quarter. He's like, Josh Allen needed Keon Coleman to go make a play for him. And, he looked lost. He didn't jump up in time. I mean, miscommunication. Like, just nothing good happened from that game. Aside from, ready for this? The punter. The punter was actually the player of the game for the Bills. He had 2 punts inside the 5-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I don't think you can pick anyone. Maxwell Harrison got beat for that long touchdown against Waddle. Did have that interception, but Cole Bishop had a nice day, I actually would say. But Joey Bosa is playing with one hand. I don't know if you caught that. He's got a club on his hand.
He's all wrapped up.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that till we saw him.
Ed Oliver out, of course. Matt Milano and Terrell Bernard, I don't know what's happened to them. You didn't even notice them on the field yesterday. Christian Benford was still out.
Yeah.
Shaq Thompson was out. That's why I don't
Taron
really.
Johnson.
Yeah, that's why I don't really have a problem with. I think eventually too, like they scored in the final 3 minutes. The Dolphins did to get it to 30 when they ripped off that run. I think at that time they just quit anyways. When it was 23-13, they're like, yeah, there's not enough time.
Yeah.
And there was like bad tackling. They kind of like gave up. But yeah, it was just ugly. And I don't know how you feel good about this moving forward because we're now in week 10 and we're seeing the same issues. And now there's no trade deadline to fix anything.
Right.
Yeah, it's certainly where we go back to defeating Kansas City last week, feeling good about this team's Super Bowl chances. Man, I don't know anymore.
Yeah.
It shows if James Cook is stopped, the offense is actually nothing.
Right.
If he doesn't go, they don't go.
Isn't a magician who can,
And you could see he was trying. He was trying to, like I said, buying time. He was trying to make plays. I mean, but they were just ready.
It's how does the Bills, front office, how do they look themselves in the mirror? Like it's almost like they thought, okay, well, Josh Allen's so good that we'll get anybody. We can get anybody. We can get Curtis Samuel.
$9 million. He had one catch, by the
Just
way.
get some guys out there, and Josh Allen will throw it to him, and we'll be good. And meanwhile, as the Bills were getting embarrassed in Miami, the Patriots were, kicking butt, and Stephon Diggs was scoring touchdowns, and it's flabbergasting.
How about the other guy?
Flabbergasted by that.
How about the other guy that they didn't want to give a few $1 million more to, and Mac Hollins?
Yeah,
6 catches, 100 yards. He gets open. I mean, the Bills would die to have him right now.
Yeah,
He's
they
the guy
had
that
him,
gets
too.
open.
They had him too.
Yep. They gave up on him.
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny you mentioned, Jim, about the front office because before the show, and Cal, I mean, you were talking about the trade deadline element of it. Go back to what Brandon Beane talked about and ranted about on the radio in April about how you guys are the fans just complaining about wide receivers and blah, blah, blah. And, hey, look, normally I defer and say, yeah, front office guys are usually, they know what they're doing type stuff here, but I think the fans might have gotten this one right to a degree.
I mean, to really put the number one tag on a guy like Keon Coleman heading into this season was a clear oversight. I mean, Keon Coleman at best is, number 2.
He's playing like a 4, if not worse.
Right. A lot for, and you see across the leagues, there's so many wide receivers that are good.
Yeah, even names that are not, like, we sometimes don't even hear about them until the season starts.
Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you like to have Kendrick Bourne?
They just come out and they make plays.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm dealing with it with Washington to a degree here with their injuries, but a guy like a guy,
story.
but a guy like Traylon Burks is available on the waiver wire, and Buffalo kind of lets him go, and Washington's now using him as essentially a number 1, and it's paying off. Like I'm not saying Burks is like a number 1, your end all be all solution, but
out there besides
correct.
What we're stuck with.
That's why I'm saying is there are things that have been there that
we got.
I don't know why you don't try and take a shot.
We got Shakir, and the rest of them can waive them today.
Yeah.
Waive them all, including Coleman. Go to the waiver wire, get a whole bunch of new fresh faces in there.
I don't know about Shakir, but
Shakir's not being
keep
used.
Shakir.
yeah. Oh, okay.
And Shakir's not being used properly. I mean, the screen passes. He doesn't have anyone else that can help him create more space because they're basically all on Shakir. They know Shakir and Cook. You take them away, they're done. I mean, Kincaid obviously, but he got hurt in the third quarter, and after that, it got even like it was like, who are you going to throw to?
Knox doesn't get like Hawes is the next guy up, I guess. Not Knox.
They finally threw to running backs yesterday. Ty Johnson 2 catches, James Cook 2 catches, but still, I mean, not much out of it.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, where it's like I don't know how in the book of tricks you don't try and just do something different. I
want to go back to the last year's draft and look at the wide receivers that were available after Keon Coleman was selected.
Ladd McConkey.
There's one.
They passed on him. I cannot believe that.
Well, there's Ladd. There's
They could have had Worthy.
Now I'm blanking, which is great. Theater of the
Worthy,
mind. Yeah, Worthy. Now I'm blanking. Great theater of the mind.
Yeah, I don't got the other ones.
But yeah.
But either way, yeah, there was options, and they chose the Keon Coleman guy.
And now we're here 2 years later, or a year and a half, and he's still like the number 1 guy. And again, contrast that with Stephon Diggs making an incredible catch in the end zone yesterday, getting his feet. I mean, what a catch! He could. Why? There's a million reasons probably why he didn't work out. And towards the end of his time in Buffalo, he did not look like the player that he does this year or had previously.
And by the way, that was as soon as Joe Brady took over as offensive coordinator when Diggs started not producing. So maybe Joe Brady is the problem here. His schemes.
Yeah.
Because when Ken Dorsey, who we all, even myself, complained about when he got fired, Diggs was having these big games, but nobody else was.
Right.
So maybe Joe Brady is at fault more than we think, but at the same time, the players are also on the field and they're not doing the job. So I think you can blame almost everything.
Yeah,
Josh Allen could be better. We could put a little blame on him. I mean, he's looked a little rough at times too, but overall, I think the separation is what you can just focus on.
Yeah, I do have it pulled up now. So I'm going to start at pick 23, which was Brian Thomas Jr. At that point, skip a few to Worthy.
What pick was Coleman?
Coleman was 33.
So
30
went before Coleman
at 23, but it's within that window, right? So Thomas.
No, when it came time for the Bills pick, they said we're taking Keon Coleman. Who did they miss on?
Well, they traded down obviously, so they missed on Ricky Pearsall, Xavier Legette, and then Ladd McConkey was taken right after as well. So
Pearsall's been hurt, but I think
kind of tough when you get shot.
Including Legette is, way better than Coleman.
Yeah,
has been.
Yeah. And by all accounts, Brian Thomas Jr. was available at this trade deadline too. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Well, this is what they got now.
Yep.
And they're looking up at New England in the AFC East. I mean, Bills fans got to be just like, what the heck happened here? We're like, they're not going to catch New England.
Oh, no.
Unless
they'd have to win out.
Injury.
Hope New England drops at least 2-3 games, and that's not happening.
Well, they're playing head-to-head on December 14th, but it's at New England. They obviously, of course, have to win that game. But look, they got Tampa Bay coming to town, who's coming off a loss to New England, which that's going to be a tough win, considering the situation Tampa Bay's in now.
They're getting guys back healthy, too.
Then we go at Houston, who's resurgent.
About to say they've
The
made
Bills have not looked good on the road.
Especially in Houston, like last year.
Yeah, and then at Pittsburgh, which should be a game you'd think the Bills could win, but
then they beat the Colts, so who knows?
right. I mean, part of it's like the NFL, I guess, but the two losses for the Bills on the road, Atlanta and Miami, are just head scratchers. And then they lost at home to the Patriots. Those are their 3 losses. Not many good wins in there except for the Kansas City win and the Baltimore win. Both were at home, and the Baltimore win was questionable. So then even going at Cleveland on December 21st, a tough game. They got Philadelphia at home. I mean, right now, okay, let's look at glass half full. So there's only 3 teams, 4 if you include the Bills, that have 3 or less losses in the AFC. Patriots, unfortunately, in the Bills division have 2. Colts have 2. And then the Broncos, Chargers, and Bills have 3. So they're still at the top of the AFC as a whole. But there's no room now for another slip up.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I look at it and I just think it's weird because I kind of said it earlier and we're kind of alluding to it now, obviously, but like it's the weirdest. This is the worst 6-3 feeling I think you could possibly have, right?
Isn't it kind of like the 2020 Steelers when they were 8-0?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't always go by record.
Yeah.
I mean, they did not seem like they were that great in 2020, the Steelers, when they were 8-0. Yeah. And you're right. I think that's how it feels now. You don't feel like teams that now play the Bills. I don't think they can just watch the film from the Miami game and they're like, wow, we're not like scared of this at all. We'll just stop James Cook and we'll make the receivers try to beat us.
Yeah, let's say,
Tampa Bay's loving this right now.
Let's say go ahead and then fast forward to the playoffs and say the Bills are in there probably as a wild card, not as division winners, and they got to play the Colts. And so, okay, Sauce Gardner, you're going to guard Keon Coleman, and that'll take care of him, right? And yeah, you're right. It's they're easy team to defend against if they can stop James Cook, and they don't have to be balanced to do it. They can load up because the Bills receivers aren't going to be able to exploit one-on-one coverage. Yeah.
And that's why Josh Allen wasn't able to run much either, because they had all the defensive linemen stacked up in the front, and he didn't have lanes to run. So yeah, they were just they could care less what was going on downfield. They knew no one was going to get open. So and they won the day big time. 90 yards in the first half from that Bills offense. It's hard to believe.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean I guess the Bills fans, based on the way the past couple seasons have gone, where they've been contenders and they've lost close games in the playoffs, that people thought, okay, the next step is to get back to the playoffs and win those games and be one of the best teams in the AFC. And the reality might be that they've regressed, and now they're less like the Chiefs of the world and more like the Steelers of the world.
Yep. And I think it's actually all on Brandon Beane for building the roster this way, if you really look at it. I mean, defensively, he could have made better decisions in the offseason that put him in a better spot. Offensively, we know they should have gotten a receiver and probably not have paid Josh Palmer $36 million, but
yeah.
And the Curtis Samuel to $27 million 2 years ago.
Amazing.
I mean, maybe spend a little better too in free agency. Like, what are you doing?
Think you could have got Josh Palmer for half that? Curtis Samuel, certainly. And if not, then you move on and look for someone else.
Yeah. Or you try to pull off a trade. Remember the Diggs trade years ago? That's how they got their number one. They made the trade. They didn't look in free agency.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't look in free agency. So, I don't know. I just think Brandon Beane is at fault here a lot because you look on paper from now compared to last year. Last year during their slump, their little 2-game losing streak, you felt good that they turned it around. And sure enough, they did. This year, you look at the roster. You thought they turned it around last week, and then you're like, oh, no, This is the real team. This is how they are. This roster just isn't that very good.
Yeah, I mean, and it's one of those things to go back to the beginning of the year. I said on here I thought it would be a pretty big malpractice if the Bills didn't make the Super Bowl with their schedule this year and everything. And I felt like probably that would come down more on McDermott, but to me, it's just on Bean at this point, 100%. It's tough down on the sidelines to try and make different variants of a bologna sandwich when it's the same ingredients over and over again.
And when when we say Bean, we're even talking draft wise.
Yeah.
Aside from Hairston, I mean, his drafts have been horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Harrison's still, he hasn't certainly established himself yet.
Yeah.
He's been injured, and then, he's had a couple good games. Looks like he's got some speed. I'm happy with him, but I think that it's too early to say that was a great pick.
He's had more ground outs than base hits, to use a baseball term, right?
You can see more. I'll put it this way: you can see more potential in Harrison as that draft pick than you can in others.
Yeah.
Keon Coleman. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets traded this offseason.
I mean, who's been the best Bean draft pick? Kincaid, maybe.
Josh Allen.
Oh, Josh Buck, right? Yeah, but
Which at the time was not a popular pick.
No, everyone wanted Josh Rosen.
Right.
no.
And I didn't have a decision, but
I can tell you this as somebody who still am a big college football guy, and at the time my team was looking for a quarterback, I was mighty high on Josh Allen. So
yeah, Kincaid, you're right. I think that was a good draft pick.
So,
But he's starting to be.
I forget. Yeah,
He's starting to be a problem though with the injuries. I mean, he's been hurt multiple times.
Yeah, Kincaid has not established himself yet, and this is his third season? Third season.
Fourth.
I actually
Third?
don't know that either.
I think it's his third.
But he hasn't established himself as, let's say, a top 5 tight end in the league. Probably not even top
Oh, not in that. Well,
10 tight end in the league.
that's a fun game we could play. I kind of
Start naming tight ends.
Third season,
there's this third, so
37 games played.
yeah.
Yeah, and he's average at best.
Yep.
Tight end,
Yeah, I agree with that.
which is fine. Sometimes average is fine, but
The great Trevor Lawrence debate, as I call it lately, with that. So,
hey, we're one loss away here in Bills Nation. To being on the outside looking in at the playoffs.
yeah.
Yeah, Steelers, Jaguars, and Chiefs all 5-4. If the Bills lose next week and they all win, there's a 4-way tie, and of course they're going to go based on what do they go based on now when there's a tie?
Well, head to head, and then it goes.
Yeah, and then
is it point
It's
differential?
not everyone's
or
played
something?
head to head. Yeah, I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, or is it conference record too? Or is
Well,
that-
yeah, there's
is that an old
conference,
thing?
yeah,
I don't know,
yeah.
but either way, you get the gist here. I mean, these teams are all stacked up now, going to be at the bottom, and eventually these other teams might pull away from the Bills, and then you're like, oh my God, the Bills are in the 7th seed. What?
And
Specifically, the Patriots.
yeah.
Yeah.
You already have.
Well, I'm looking at it too from this angle of I'm not even viewing the Patriots at this point as attainable, only because of the way the Bills have played now overall the past kind of month. I look at it more from the element of, like, you have Houston in a couple of weeks, Cincinnati a couple of weeks after that.
And you heard the news, right? Right
Pitt-
when we were getting on the air.
Yeah, and Burrow's practicing,
Practice
isn't it?
window is open.
Yeah. So
21 days he'll be
Yeah.
within 21 days he'll be activated.
yeah, and look, the Steelers are above them; they're leading that division, but like they're in that window too, record wise, of like they could fall into your lap or you could catch up. So like,
This could get ugly fast.
Yeah.
Especially if they lose in, this Sunday.
yeah,
After next Sunday's game at Tampa, they're on the road for 4 or 5 consecutive weeks.
That too.
Yeah.
And they're 2-2 on the road this year.
Right, and like you said, at Houston, where they haven't been good, at New England, which is going to be a must-win game that they're probably going to be 4-point underdogs, at Cleveland, which should be a win, but you never know, and it's not going to the tough defense,
yeah.
and then of course at Pittsburgh, which who knows what team you're going to get there.
Yeah, Jekyll and Hyde from them. So, but even then, though, I mean, like you're going into Pittsburgh, it's going to be a tough game, more than likely, no matter what.
Let's face it, every game's tough in the NFL, right? I mean, doesn't matter
Well,
who you are. A lot
on
of teams,
paper.
a lot of teams like whether it's the Colts or Broncos or Patriots or even Chargers, they've been involved in games where it looked like they're going to lose and they pull it out at the end. I guess the Bills, same thing, especially like in Baltimore, the game against Baltimore. It's so hard in the NFL, but the quality teams end up, getting the wins, turning losses into wins, and not turning wins into losses. Yesterday's game was the Bills didn't even they were losers from the opening kick.
You Sky Hansen'd yourself there a little bit.
Imagine being the Giants.
Well, about that.
I mean, they had that game won.
Yeah, they've been up 10 points on the road in 4 games this year and have lost every one. That's why Brian Daboll got fired this morning.
Yeah, did we just break news to you, Jim, by the way?
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Daboll
got fired like an hour ago.
Oh, well, good for him. It's about time. I don't know what they're waiting for.
He'll be headed back to Buffalo as their offensive coordinator again.
Well, he might be better as a coordinator.
Yeah, seriously.
But, just look at the fact that what Daniel Jones is doing now.
Yeah.
I mean, that wasn't, when I saw that, I was like, Daboll's got to go. I'm not a fire coach guy either. I think that sometimes are more often than not set you back even further.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in continuity and predictability and repetition. But, to see Daniel Jones go to another franchise and turn into an MVP candidate when they was written off in New York. And what's the other go? Who's the game? Who did Houston play yesterday?
Jacksonville.
Yeah, so 26 points?
Yeah.
The fourth quarter?
Yep.
Yeah, they were down 19 after 3 quarters.
It's like unbelievable.
And we've seen a lot of those double-digit fourth-quarter comebacks.
Right.
I mean, the Bills set the tone with the week 1.
Right.
But since then, I think we've seen like 8, and it's like the most ever in a single season.
So what separates like the good teams and the bad teams in the NFL? Like the good teams win when it's winning time, they win.
Packers lost on the road at Cleveland, remember?
Oh, in a horrible way.
The Bills have to go to Cleveland. You never know.
You never know. Honestly,
I mean, the Packers lose to Carolina, who in turn lose to New Orleans yesterday.
What usually happens is, okay, Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen are winners. So when it comes to winning time, they close the door. But that just doesn't seem to be the case necessarily anymore, especially with the Bills. You can't rely on Josh Allen to win the game for you single-handedly, So it's a bad spot. But we could go through the month of November, have our Thanksgiving dinner, come back, get ready for some Christmas time, and come about Christmas time, we might be feeling completely different. We may be like, okay, the Bills are actually...
Hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, or it could be like, what are we doing this podcast for the next 2 weeks? Because the Bills are out of it.
We want a fun January.
Right.
I mean, we don't want this to be how we're thinking it's going to be. But
Right. But, yeah, who knows?
Reality, kind of, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, right? We could get back here in 2 or 3 weeks or right at Thanksgiving, and we're having a discussion about how all of a sudden Buffalo is in control, at least of the division, and back in a 2 or 3 seed type spot. But it's football.
We just need Josh Palmer and Gabe Davis to save us somehow. Somehow, just come on and just do the job. I don't know how, but.
I mean, given how bad the Bills have been on the road this year, how can we expect them to get to the Super Bowl with a path that's taken them on the road?
Correct. And how many teams in NFL history has done that? Like, just like 2 or 3, I think, right? Like, it's
rare.
It's not a ton. I mean, I think the Giants are like the only team in recent memory to have done it. So,
speaking of that, I have a couple home and road splits I wanted to mention in the AFC. Colts 6-0 at home. One of the games, though, was that Berlin game.
Yeah.
Broncos 5-0 at home. And get this one. Patriots 5-0 on the road.
Yeah.
You don't see that very often.
But in 3-2 at home.
At Tampa.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
In that environment, when they were down too early in the game.
Yeah, it's impressive, and it's shocking, and it's
young
disgusting
quarterback
for Bills fans.
Well, it goes back that end to your point that you just made, Jim, right? Coaching. Think about it. Vrabel probably gets, well, he did get unjustly fired from that Tennessee job, and
get out of that Tennessee shit.
And now he's taking I don't know if they're the most talented team the Patriots ever had. Obviously not, but he's doing the.
And see him. I mean, there's no hustle. There's no urgency. It's a young guy.
Shocking.
Yeah.
To be in that position, it's just shocking.
Just jogging. He puts his arm up like I'm open, and
yeah.
It's also on Josh Allen, I think, to call a guy out like that, a younger guy, and be like, look, dude, that's not how we do things here.
Well, there was in the press scrum yesterday,
Josh did take a little shot at it.
Yeah.
Keon Keon, right? I mean, so
Well, I think they asked him about Coleman not making the most of his targets.
Yeah, do you feel like Keon Coleman is doing enough with the chances that he's getting? I mean, and then he paused. He got one today, so yeah, and then he walked off.
it was a solid like 3-second pause.
Yeah, definitely not a ringing endorsement.
No.
But we don't need Josh Allen to give him an endorsement for us to see with our own eyes.
Right.
And then did you hear what Keon Coleman said when he was asked how his relationship is with Josh? He said it's never been better.
Wow. Well, some of that's just
Yeah, he's just saying it on camera
right.
because you don't want
Smart. You don't want to create
more drama.
issue, but
Yeah.
definitely. And they could have a good relationship, but that's not translating into production.
They definitely do not look in sync at all. I mean, you mention it every week almost.
Yeah.
They throw the ball up to him. That's supposed to be his strength. Go up and get the ball. He doesn't even sometimes attempt to jump.
Yep.
Hey, speaking of insane home and road splits, this Tampa Bay Buccaneer game coming up on Sunday for the Bills.
I don't have those.
Both are 6-3. The Bills 4-1 at home, and the Buccaneers are 4-1 on the road.
Oh,
So
Huge game for Tampa Bay,
Yeah.
by the way. Obviously, a huge game for the Bills, and it's and then the thing that really sucks for the Bills is after that game, they're on Thursday night.
yeah,
So they got to go at Houston on 4-game rest. I mean, God forbid they lose to Tampa Bay at home. I could easily see them dropping that game at Houston, and now all of a sudden you're 6-5, just like
Yeah.
that, just like that.
and Houston gets the Titans this Sunday,
yeah.
so they could be 5-5.
Titans off the bye week though.
Oh,
Any game in the NFL isn't a gimme, but
I know. I was just more crossing over the betting podcast with with Bills Weekly on that one. But
hey, who came off the bye this week and won? Somebody had a big win that you wouldn't have thought. I can't think off the top of my head. Oh, Baltimore. Was it Baltimore?
Baltimore.
yeah, at Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we all like Minnesota.
You
Yeah.
you two did.
Yeah.
And I mean, they were up too for a good portion of the game. But
The NFL.
Wild times in the NFL, but see if the Buffalo Bills are ready to circle the wagons or not. They
Yep.
need better circle them.
I was going to say, speaking of circling and all that, I'm trying to considering that winter has made an early appearance here in upstate New York.
Is?
Well, 47 and rainy, so I guess it's not the worst weather that you could have at Orchard Park, that's for sure. Okay, it doesn't look like it's snowing right now. I had to look over at the window over there quickly, but it has been for a pretty good part of the morning here in the upstate Finger Lakes area. So, but still though, kind of
There's
tough.
a lot of Bills fans that went
Yeah.
down there because they went to see Syracuse play the Miami and then Buffalo. It was like a perfect weekend to go down and watch football. And boy, what a disappointment!
Yeah.
on both fronts.
Yeah. Good thing I was at the Dome for basketball on Saturday, not in Miami.
Now there's a team.
You're right. Well,
These
we need to
guys
talk
are
about that.
legit.
We need to talk about that off air. So, all right. Line is at 5.5. The Bills are favored by, which is kind of a little bit surprising to me. I figured it might be a little bit lower than that, but I'm guessing Vegas views this more as a pretty decent enough
It's a
home
tough
field
spot for
thing.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
It's a tough spot for
Yeah.
Tampa Bay.
Over under at 50.5, but that line's actually moved down to 49.5 already. So I don't know. That's interesting. I could see this potentially turning into a shootout, but I don't know if you're Buffalo, if that pays off in your favor in the end right now, in a
I got my
way.
prediction for this one already.
Let it rip then.
It's going to be the Bills are going to win. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be like a 28-25 victory for the Bills. They may have to stop a late drive by Baker Mayfield to get into field goal range. Maybe Maxwell Harrison gets a big interception. But I think the Bills will circle the wagons, come out with a win, and try to get things going back in the right direction.
All right. Kyle, you want me to go or?
I'll go.
All right, have at it.
This week, I'm not picking the Bills.
Oh, damn you. I was, okay.
I'm going 28-23 Buccaneers. I just think they have too many playmakers on defense. With the Bills' offense struggling a little bit, they just won't be able to keep up point total wise, and they'll just do enough to win. The Buccaneers.
Yeah. I also, I guess, for the first time this year, I'm going against the Bills here. I think it's. I'm sorry. I think it's a little bit worse. I think 31-20 is the Buccaneers win here.
Who Tampa Bay play last week again?
New England.
Oh yeah, of course.
So
Remember, they're getting Chris Godwin
Yeah.
back, likely. Bucky Irving back, on top of already, who they have.
yeah,
So Kate Otten is going to be a problem for the Bills. Emeka Egbuka. So, am I saying his name right?
Buka's great. As bad as this week went, I'm looking at the big picture here. I'm not going to let 1 week. 2 weeks ago we beat Kansas City. Okay, so the week before that we won by 31 points on the road. Had a Carolina team that's decent, and
it's true.
I'm going to brush that off as an anomaly. Yeah. The problems we discussed today are all still problems, but at the end, the Bills are a winning football team, and they're going to win at home. Hopefully, giving them some momentum heading into 4 out of 5 road games. They can't lose this one. They can't lose this one. They can't lose this one and go on the road for 4 or 5 weeks.
It's true.
It's a must win.
Yeah.
So I think in that situation they'll get it done, but I wouldn't be shocked. Nothing would shock me, not only with the Bills, but in anything in the whole NFL.
It's true. Yeah, I think that's my main thing with this. At least for me, the way I'm viewing this game is like I don't know if I think it's more or less a prove it deal. I need Buffalo to show me that they can get these teams again here a little bit, and make me feel comfortable enough to have faith, especially the rest of the year. So
I won't be here to talk about it next week either.
yeah, you're pulling a me.
Short. You know what? What are we going to do next week? Have a show on Friday?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Or 2 weeks. November 21st. Friday, November 21st is the day after they play at Houston. Or would we just hold off till the following Monday? Probably hold off till
Yeah.
so we can talk about the league as a whole. Maybe New England will have lost.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah. You never know.
I know. Get ready, Bills fans, for a new dynasty in New England. You lived through the entire Brady career, and now finally he was gone, and we missed our window. Now it's going to be Drake May.
Yep.
Kyle, you forgot the 2 best players on the Buccaneers, though.
Sean Tucker.
Sean Tucker and Riley Dixon.
Yeah, the punter.
So
They have guys. Baker can run, as we know.
Baker's a dog.
Yeah, I agree with that. But look at all the wide receivers that they have.
Yeah.
Despite the injuries. I mean, you can look at any NFL. Do the Bills have the worst wide receiver room in all of football?
Yeah, people were putting that
Wow.
out yesterday.
I think they do. Who's worse?
Give me one.
Tennessee? Yeah, they got Calvin Ridley and a couple others. They had a couple of the young guys are better than any.
Yeah, we just don't know their names because Cam Ward can't get it to them.
New Orleans now is pretty dark with just Olave.
Olave would be number 1 Bills wide receiver.
Yeah, true.
Wouldn't even be close.
True.
Taysom Hill.
Get out of here with that. I've been over the Taysom Hill thing.
I mean, yeah, I'm here to say the Bills have the worst wide
Wow.
receiver room in football.
Raiders?
That includes the Giants. Well, the Raiders without Jacoby Myers might be a candidate. But
Definitely bottom 5.
It's about. I don't disagree. I think it's definitely a bottom at best 3rd wide receiver room. I don't know about the worst.
3rd worst at best. 3rd worst in the NFL at best.
I might have to entertain it at that point.
I'm looking at teams on their schedule, and Atlanta's obviously way better. Carolina's better wide receiver room.
Yeah.
Kansas City, of course. Miami, obviously, after last week, and that's with Tyreek Hill getting hurt. They're still better wide receivers. Washington and Waddle. Tampa Bay, of course.
Yeah.
Houston, obviously. Pittsburgh, yes. New England, yeah. Remember?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Cleveland. Cedric Tillman.
Jerry Jeudy.
Yes, it's not even close. What the hell?
It's an embarrassment.
I mean, how does that happen to the Bills? When you got all this momentum and all this talent,
Josh Allen's prime,
your quarterback's prime, and you have the worst wide receiver room in football.
Yep. And you had 2 options, or you had you could have addressed the situation twice in the offseason and at the trade deadline, and you did zero.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, maybe they
it's a
are
waste
done.
a year.
Maybe they're done.
Yeah. Well, I know.
Seconds will haunt them forever.
Yeah.
They could have at least gotten to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They probably, the way things are going, they might not ever. Under Josh Allen, at least.
True.
If
That
not
maybe.
under him, who
Maybe in like 2045.
think about after Allen's career, who might be some quarterbacks they'll run through. Like most franchises that struggle to find a guy like Josh Allen or a true franchise guy, they cycle him through. Tyler Schlow for what was that guy's name for New Orleans?
Yeah.
He's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go from Spencer Rattler to that guy. Yeah, it's not a good spot to be.
And I'm not to go doomsday here, but as somebody, like I said, pay attention to college football. If you thought last year's draft, this past draft class was bad, I hope you're not a fan of a team that has one of these guys that was allegedly great, like Garrett Nussmeier or DJ Lagway, or any of these guys. It's a bad quarterback class coming in this year.
How many wide receivers that were free agents in the offseason would have loved to play with Josh Allen and come to Buffalo?
No, I said it on this podcast that I thought Brandon Beane needed to do everything he could, sell the mortgage to get T. Higgins, and signs back with Cincinnati, and here we are.
Meanwhile, I came into the season thinking, okay, Keon Coleman's sophomore year. Let's see, he's ready to elevate. I said Josh Palmer, nice addition. Let's see how they work together. Even Elijah Moore coming in was like, oh, but they all suck.
Yeah.
Yep.
And where's the darling of the preseason? Shavers. One catch again yesterday. So.
That might be half the problem, too, with this Bills team is they're like, okay, we'll throw in Kerr Samuel here, and then Shavers here. Like, give us your top guys and let's go.
Yeah. So, part of it. So we got Jim to throw paper today. That's a first. I love it.
I never really thought about it until just now that the Bills have the worst wide receivers in the NFL, and we're talking about them going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
In this modern NFL, this isn't like 1978 when you could just run the ball to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I don't know. I got Giants fans texting me that they can't believe that Dable was the only one fired. So
Yeah, the GM's staying.
yeah, I got a lot of stuff happening over on that side. So, yeah, Jim, next week you're out. You'll be down in the Carolinas. Enjoy the nice weather and all that.
And the Panthers wide receivers.
Yeah. Let us know how Xavier Legette looks here fully and or that. So Kyle, me and you next week. Tentatively, we're going to aim for 10 a.m. That might shift back again like this week, kind of depending upon potential election results that still haven't been official yet throughout the area. So kind of all depends there. So the debrief is back. So at the moment, 10 a.m. next week, me and you, Kyle, will rock out here and hopefully have a victory Monday. I haven't had a victory Monday, at least up at the desk here in 3 weeks or whatever, 3 or 4 weeks. It's been a while. I need something. I need positivity.
Bills are going to win this game.
All right.
You'll be fine.
All right.
7-3 or 6-4.
Yeah, they're going to be 7-3. They're going to beat Tampa Bay one way or another.
I like it. I like the conviction. We need that around here for the Bills. So, all right, guys. Appreciate you. We will be back again next Monday on Bills Weekly. Hopefully discussing a victory Monday and not Doomsday Monday or whatever the hell we want to call it. So you can find Bills Weekly here on FingerLakes1.com, the F1 YouTube channel, and all other major podcasting platforms. We'll talk again next Monday, everybody. Until then, let's go Buffalo.